The anonymous player poll. I did these every year. I couldn't wait because it is the best way to just complain. And there's nothing better than just complaining. All right, so let's do this. Poll number 1. MLB players make it clear they won't play for the A's. But which managers, teams do they like? By the way, please go read the entire article. The Athletic is more than worth it. All right, the first question was managers guys want to play with number 1 being my doppelganger, according to the internet, Bruce Bochy. 16% of guys are like, Bochy's the man. He's won 4 World Series. The guy's a legend. I agree with this wholeheartedly. And I'll be honest, this top 5 are all my top 5 probably. Bruce Bochy, followed by Terry Francona right behind him. Steven Voter, come on. Craig Counsell, and then Brian Snicker and Dave Roberts kind of tied and fit. But the other interesting one was players you don't want to play for. Far fewer responses, surprising absolutely nobody. There are 2 by a kind of a landslide were Bud Black, the former Rockies manager, because they were absolutely horrendous when this was taken, and then Oli Marmol, 5 votes each. The reasons given were like, the Rockies suck, and I don't know. He just like gets thrown out a lot. You know what? I'll be honest. I think a bunch of guys cop out there, but again, don't rock the boat and you won't get too many waves. You know what I mean? Other managers also put out there. Mike Schilt was a positive one. He was also not liked by a few. Ron Washington, and they were just like, just because I want to use my cell phone, we've covered that. That's not his fault. Then we had the second one, poll number 2. What players do the other players love to watch? Who are the favorite and least favorite players? Surprise, number 1 is Shohei Ohtani. Cheat code, might be the best player ever. He's not from this world. We get it. And he's just fun. Following him are Bobby Witt Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., all the juniors, Ellie De La Cruz Jr., and Mookie Betts Jr. Those are like the top 5, all for their athleticism because they're freaks. They do crazy stuff. And then we have Fernando Tatis has been thrown out there. We had a Michael Harris mentioned, which is cool, and Bryce Harper is thrown out there. And the only pitcher is Paul Skeens.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
Let's talk about hitters. The pitchers are scared of the most. Juan Soto, 15%. Yeah, that tracks. I'll go with that. Shohei Ohtani, 14%. And Aaron Judge. Those are the top 3. Anyone surprised? I'll be honest, I'm surprised Aaron Judge isn't number 1 right now. Juan Soto, good, bad, or indifferent. He is a nightmare to pitch to. Nobody likes it. You can't strike him out. The other 2 guys strike out, and Juan Soto doesn't. And as someone who struck guys out, I hated it. There were some other ones thrown out there. Yordan Alvarez, because he's massive and you think he's going to kill you if you hit it back at you. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, all the regular ones. And Jose Ramirez finally makes a list as well. He's in there. What about pitchers? Hitters least want to face. Number 1, Chris Sale. I agree with this. I would have went with this too. He's funky, he's nasty, and he punches tickets, and he's a bulldog. He's a scary dude. He's just a dude who throws like nobody else. You're never used to it. It's awful. And he was followed closely by Tarek Skubal, Zach Wheeler, and then Aroldis Chapman in his prime got number 4 on this list. And honorable mention, Michael King made the list, which is pretty cool. Let's get to the third one. Robo Umps might be coming to the MLB. Are the players for or against them? Yes. We are doing it.
You're one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my life.
63.4% of players oppose full Robo Umps. Only 17.1% are in favor, with 19.4% like, I don't know. Here's the main arguments being made, and I'm going to parrot a lot of these because I agree. Loss of the human element, it'll take away humans playing against humans and human error, which is kind of the point of the tension. Impact on catchers. They're graded very heavily on framing and ability to steal strikes, which I think is a skill that'll go away. Everyone hates that. Some people don't trust the technology. It is pretty easy to rig it, and I don't necessarily fully trust the commissioner's office and everything they say. So that does bring some questions in, like if you could just adjust it to get the things you want. I don't like that at all. But the people who really like it are like, we need to get every single call right. I don't think that's true. And you can correct big missed calls in the strike zone, but that is solved by the challenge system. And I think that's a lot of people are really, really excited about the challenge system. Additionally, there were some write-ins. Now, this is what I want to hear about from you guys. In the comments, let me know what you think of the player suggestions for improving baseball, okay? Schedule changes. Less games, more off days. I'll say it again, a little bit louder for you. Less games, more off days. I am a huge proponent. The injury rate will go down significantly with 10 less games. 10 less games. We're not talking about cutting it in half. We're going 152 from 162. Unfortunately, the number of games in any sport will never go down. It will only go up. They can measure money made per game. And when you reduce the number of games, there will be less money made for that owner, and they're out. They also have mentioned maybe every Monday off like the minors. Now, that's a lot of off days, but I think that's sick. Some said maybe we should just do 7-inning doubleheaders. I would have loved that as well. Fans hate that shit, so it'll never happen. And there's one minority view that I put in bold red. You'll be able to see it. I think it's in red in massive letters. It said, one player suggested a longer season. Shut up. Go sit in timeout. Stupid. A lot of players said they want some rule changes. They want them changed again. The popular ones were bring back the shift, eliminate the pitch clock. That ain't happening. Scrap the 3-batter minimum, remove pickout limits, and remove the recent catcher's interference rules. So those are all pitchers. Those are all pitchers. So my guys, I appreciate you're on the right side of history. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, but I do think that you were on the right track. And some extreme views. I like sliding the bases, not going to catch her out. Okay. Same guy wanted a longer season, I'm sure. There were some other interesting ones. Really quickly, I'll touch off the top and then we'll move on to the next poll. Labor and economic changes. This is irrelevant because we're going to have a CBA negotiation after next season. Players would love to get rid of a year of arbitration. That means you're going to get a salary cap. So if you want that, you're going to need that. Match play, golf style. Like each inning is won individually. I don't know about that one, Chief. Expand the league to 32 teams. I like that. Make retractable roofs mandatory, so everyone has to have them, so there's no more rainouts. Love that as well. Umpire demotions for poor performance. That kind of exists, but not in a standardized or formal way. They should do that. Double the first base bag, like softball style. I agree with that one as well. Home run derby to settle extra innings. I don't think that's more fun, though pitchers don't have to pitch, so maybe I am on that. And then just remove the strike zone graphic from TV. That'll never happen because it literally enhances the viewing experience. It just does. All right, poll number 4, guys. MLB players impact on sports betting and fan interactions. They're worried about death threats and family threats. Obviously, people said, I lost this amount of money, so I'm going to come after your family. Saying horrible stuff like that. It's terrifying. Are they usually mean nothing by it? Yes. But it only takes one, and it's just you got to take these things seriously, and it has been happening more and more and more, not just baseball, everywhere. But there's one thing that someone mentioned that I hadn't really thought about, the concern over financial vulnerability of younger players being targeted for potential match fixing. When betting numbers get really high, now you can incentivize a young guy who's not making a lot of money. You could pay him a lot of money to fix something if the number's high enough. That is a slight concern. I'm not super concerned about it, but it seems like some players are. Here's some specific examples. One NL pitcher said, people suck, dude. He said he muted the word parlay on social media to avoid seeing gambling-related posts. And one AL East pitcher said they just deleted social media completely. I would say, if you're gonna do it, go that road. And I'm sorry, fans, that means less interaction for you, but it was hard enough with fantasy sports, and now athletes are trying to navigate their way through it. All right, the last poll, really quick. MLB players talk biggest misconceptions about playing the game in general. Number 1, mentioned the grind, schedule, being tired and losing time. You miss out on a lot of things. You don't get 4th of July with your family ever. You're working. You are the entertainment of 4th of July. Mother's Day, Father's Day. You're literally playing every day. That can suck. And a lot of that has to do, is a big reason that I didn't have a child until I retired. Because I didn't want to be absentee. But that is just a sacrifice you make. It's just one of the many. The reality of the travel, this is great. You're constantly living out of a suitcase and never feeling grounded sucks. That was big deal for me. Travel fatigue builds. Literally, late arrivals, changing time zones, constantly going to bed later and later, trying to catch up on sleep. You're always thinking about catching up on sleep. And even with charters and everything, it is the best case scenario, but the way the season's set up, with the number of off days, it's hard regardless. And there's often no times to even have any ability to enjoy the city. That's a lot of times the fun of traveling, and you don't even get to do that. So that is grueling. It's grueling in this weird, slow burn. It is what it is. It's a day-to-day thing. Just like any job. Some days you're excited to go in, some days you're not. Some guys are like, I hate it when people say baseball's easy because it's so hard. And we collectively as a whole, Major League Baseball players, we hate the debate about sports and about which sport is the hardest. It is so annoying because it's obviously baseball. No, it's not. Actually, I would say if you isolate into a single event, I would say golf. You're playing a ton of matches, a ton of rounds all at once, and you got to be super locked in with hand-eye coordination. You can't get off by a centimeter. I can't imagine what playing on Sunday is, especially if you're leading the tournament and the stress. Like a little bit like a yip can just ruin your round. But in terms of an entire season, I think baseball's up there. Football's obviously up there as well, but they play once a week and they get a day off. So mentally, they might have a little bit more rest than baseball players do. Also, life off the field, not everyone parties. No, they don't have a bunch of houses. Vast majority of guys don't have enough money to retire on, even if they played for years. You don't start making real money until free agency, and most people don't get there. So I know for a fact it took free agency to get me in the position to be able to retire. And it's like that for the most, especially if you're a reliever, because no one likes you. And then your careers are short, and it sucks. Those were the player polls put out by the New York Times and The Athletic. It's like what I would be writing, the topics that I would cover if I could cover them. So highly recommend. If you like this show, you'll like them as well. And shout out to them for their amazing work.